guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to paint an acrylic landscape, and this is a stretch canvas by Fredericks. It's 11 by 14. This is the type of canvas. It makes blending a whole lot easier if you use this type of canvas. I will be using acrylic paint, craft, and golden fluid acrylics. I'm going to start by mixing up my sky color and my background trees, and for that I'm going to be using not this color, this color, golden fluid acrylics Viridian Green, alizarin crimson to darken up the green, a drop of Prussian blue, and I'm going to mix that together, see what kind of color I come up with. Well, I know it's going to be like a bluish green, but depending on the ratios, it could be different. And then I'm going to add a little bit of white. Oh my goodness, I'm almost out. I'm gonna mix a little bit of this color with some white off to the side to see what it's gonna look like when I blend it on my canvas. And I'm happy with that. And then I want some of this craft paint. I got this at Walmart. English Ivy Green. I'm going to use that for some background trees as well. Oh, that's a big clump. Don't want that. Making a mess. Ah. All right. Do I need anything else? Possibly a little bit of black right now. Don't know yet, but I'll go ahead and get it out just in case. And for the brushes, I'm going to use some mop brushes. This one is the 1 inch from Hobby Lobby. And I'll probably use a 3/4 inch. Oh, here comes my cat. I'm already off to I'm already struggling this morning, and it's 3:30. And then the number 16 brush to blend with. And I'm also going to need a cloth to wipe off my brush. This one is completely filthy, and a clean cloth to wipe off any excess paint. All right, I'm going to start with my white, and plenty of paint on my brush. I'm going to start at the top of the canvas, just kind of cover that all up. Then I'm going to go in with some of my color and just go right over top of some of that white. Clean and dry mop brush. I'm going to swirl my brush and make this sky and the background really soft. If you need more help with blending acrylics with my method, I do have a full tutorial on my channel. It's under the acrylic blending playlist, I think. So just swirl, real soft pressure, and then sweep to kind of remove the brush strokes. Now I'm going to wipe off a bunch of that paint because it's got a lot of white in it. Grab some more of the color I mixed up. Grab my blending brush again, wipe it off. swirl again, just at the top. Real soft pressure. Wipe it off. Sweep to remove the brush strokes. Gotta work quickly because it will dry on you. Wipe this off again. Squeeze some of that paint out. Grab some more color. I started another layer. I'm working my way towards the foreground here. So darker as I get closer. I'm gonna grab green really soon. Probably next. Wipe off any excess paint. Swirl to blend. Wipe it off. Crisscross to remove the brush strokes. I'm gonna start to grab some green now. I'm just gonna use the same brush. Again, squeeze out all of that blue. Not all of it, but a lot of it. There's a big hair. But I can't worry about that right now because I gotta work fast. I'm gonna grab some of this ivy green. Go right over top of some of this blue. Oh, I just grabbed blue. Green. Green, 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 green. Wipe off my brush and swirl. Wipe it off. Sweep and crisscross to remove the brush strokes. Trying to keep this in frame here so you can see what I'm doing. Squeeze the paint out. More green. It's not going to be any darker, but I'm going to start to add a little bit of black. So green first and then a little bit of black. Wipe off the brush again. I'm just building layers here. Moving towards the foreground. Wipe it off. Sweep and crisscross. And I'm gonna go ahead and fill this in with black. And this side. This part doesn't matter a whole lot. There's going to be a road coming through here and lots of trees. I kind of went too far here with the black. I'm just going to take my cloth, kind of wipe off like a little area here where I might want a road. And since I've got so much black and green in this brush, I'm going to grab a new brush. It's basically the same kind of, it is the same size brush. I'm going to go back in with some white and that blue color that I mixed up for the sky. So this color. And I'm going to block in my road because this is going to be like a wet road. And I'm just doing this now because the paint I've got over here on my plate is still wet. And if it dries, I'm going to have to mix that color up again, and I don't want to have to do all that. So I'm going to probably go outside of where I know my road is going to be, but then I can shape my road with the grass around it. Straight up and down with the brush strokes. It's all right if it looks a little choppy. It doesn't have to be like perfectly blended. Just shaping the road right now and blocking it in. I'm gonna grab a smaller mop brush and kind of sharpen up that curve just a little bit there where the road is going to disappear behind some trees. All right, good start. Go ahead and fill this in so that it all kind of just dries together. I'll shape my road better in just a few minutes when I get down here to the road and I start working on the road. Just trying to get a general layout of the land. All right, good start. Done with my blending brush. Done with the big white brush. Yeah, I guess I'm done with those two. Now I'm going to use my hair dryer, dry this off so I can move on. All right, now I'm going to start putting in some trees. We'll start with the distant ones first. And I'm going to use this round bristle brush. It came in a set. I'll link it in the description for you. I'm going to see what it looks like with just the English ivy green. No other colors added to it. I'm just going to see what that looks like. That'll be fine, at least for this first layer. I'm going to try to be real random with it. Roll my brush so that I don't get a bunch of repeating patterns. I'm pushing up with my brush around the outside edge. And then just tapping down here. All right, that's going to need a little bit of highlight. So let's see what it looks like with just mixing it with some white. Oh, that's fine. So add just a little bit of white. Push up on the brush. There's going to be a giant tree right here, so I'm really not super concerned with how it all looks right back in this area. I want to leave it dark down here so that it looks thicker at the bottom of all of these trees. Oopsie, I messed up the focus and the brightness. There we go. I am going to go in with a little bit of black and kind of wipe off my brush here. Do kind of the same thing just to give these background trees a little bit more depth because they're looking pretty solid. Not a lot of paint on my brush. Darker at the bottom. Well, that might be too dark up there. I'll add some more highlight and green there to fix that. And you can just kind of go back and forth with it until you're happy. I like that. Good deal. All right, and now there's just going to be some branches with some yellow leaves over here. So I'll get started on that. That was easy. Good deal. All right, and now there's just going to be some branches with some yellow leaves over here. So I'll get started on that. That was easy. I'm going to use brown or burnt umber. I'm going to use this angle brush. It's a number 5. It's from the Deco Enchanted set. And the brown or burnt umber. And I'm going to start putting some... Oh, I got to darken that up first. Sorry. I always get ahead of myself. I'm going to use a mop brush again, just like I used for the background. Sharpen up the edge of my road a little bit. Wipe off a lot of the paint on my brush and then just kind of dry brush it so that it just gradually gets light to dark along this tree line here. There we go. And I guess I can go ahead and do this side too since I'm at it. Sharpen up this edge of the road, starting to really define my road now. Wipe off my brush and gradually make that shift in value and color from green to black. going to hang on to this brush just in case I need it for the road, because that's the last clean one I've got. Oh, no, I've got another one, but I'm still going to hang on to it. All right, now let's dry this and then paint some. So I'm going to have like a grassy area kind of coming through here. And then a grassy area kind of comes like that. So I'm going to start my tree branches. I'm going to stop them here, not start, sorry. I'm saying all kinds of weird things today. I'm going to be really loose with how I paint these tree branches, these tree trunks and stuff. So I'm holding onto my brush really loosely. I'm going to use a little bit of this chestnut craft paint. Put some highlights on these trees. Just on one side, so that they stand out a little bit more from the black. I can barely see that brown now, but now that it's dry. And I'm going to use cad yellow and probably some white. And for the maybe the shadow color, some Indian yellow. Actually, that chestnut looks pretty nice. It's pretty close to the Indian yellow anyway, so maybe I'll just mix that, the chestnut, instead of using the Indian yellow. I'm going to use this fan brush. This is the number 1, and it comes in a set. I will link the set in the description. I got it on Amazon, and I'm just going to use the corner of this brush, just the side, not the whole. Well, I might use here and there a little bit all of the brush, but mostly just the corner. So I'm going to grab this chestnut and a little bit of this yellow, mix those two together. And I'm going to start very carefully and very delicately. I'm going to put some leaves, and I'm going to like move my brush around a lot, okay? And I'm not going to do just one angle every time. I'm going to move and roll my brush a little bit. Ooh, that's a lot of paint right there. I might switch to a different brush too. I don't know. get a little bit of it painted with this brush and then also use another brush. That chestnut looks really pretty. I'm getting like almost an instant shadow and a highlight at the same time, and that's really cool. I'll pull some of these branches back to the front, like in front of the leaves as well. I just got to get the leaves painted first, and then I'll work on layering. I got like something of a straight line going right there. I want to break that up. Careful not to overdo it. And now I've got like a big line going there. So gonna break that up. No, I don't have any tree branches coming back through here. I guess I could put a couple of them. I like the way this looks, so I'm just going to carry this on around, but very lightly. Again, there's going to be a very large tree right there, so let's grab a small liner brush. Well, this one's not small, it's really long, but it's skinny. And I'm going to grab some water and some of that chestnut brown. And I can, oh my gosh, that is way too light. Let's go with the burnt umber then. The brown. Regular brown. And add a couple of branches back through here to kind of make it look heavily something. I don't know, just make it look tight back in there, like there's a lot of trees. And the smaller these are, or the further I go back this way, off in the distance, it's going to make them look further away. I think I can stop right there because of that big tree I'm going to paint. Did I mention there's going to be a big giant tree right here? Don't know if I mentioned that yet, but I think I did. And I'm just going to put a few more little branches here and there. Oh, that's a big glob of paint. Brush just so that my liner brush really slides across my canvas easily, and that helps me get that real skinny, crisp line. Let's do a little tiny bit of a darker side to some of these branches. I'm gonna use a little bit of black and burnt umber. It's not really gonna matter down here because the background, the stuff behind it is already black, but up here it's actually gonna make quite a bit of difference. I'll have to get my small liner brush back out, I think. Can use this. Oh, I'm using a little flat brush from the fine detail set. This is the 0. And then I'll go back in again and put in some couple more leaves. I may try another little brush as well. Yeah, let's grab the liner brush again. A little bit of water, black and burnt umber. Tap it on my cloth so I don't have any big drops of water. And I'm going to go along the edges of some of these. Just darken them up a little bit so there's more of a contrast. So you can see a big difference up here. It really makes those branches stand out against that yellow. And then when I put some more leaves in front of it, it's going to make it all look intertwined. There's going to be leaves in front of branches and branches in front of leaves, and not just a bunch of leaves sitting flat on top of a tree. It's all going to look like it's all jumbled together. And that's what I meant earlier when I was talking about layering. When I start to layer the trees. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I just did right there, but whoo. Okay, rinse and lay it to the side. Now I'm going to try a couple of leaves with this angle brush. This is what I used to paint the branches, or like the tree trunks. And again, just going to use the corner. And I'm going to roll this brush in my fingertips as I'm painting. So I get like different shapes of leaves. And I'm just tapping. I get some round, I get some with a pointed edge. And I'm just gonna go right over top of some of these branches. So now they all kind of look like they're I think I might have went overboard with the leaves. I always do that. All right, so if you go overboard with the leaves,
hello, darkness, my old friend.
if you go overboard with the leaves like I did, I've got black here behind my tree trunks, so I'm just going to take some black and just try to darken some of that back up so that it doesn't look like there's so many. Or you can just paint it all green and black again and start over. That helped a little bit. Now I can grab some of that green. I'm just trying to erase some of these leaves that I went crazy with. It's easy to get carried away. Super easy. And I am the world's worst for that. I did go a little bit overboard with that, but it's going to be okay. It's not a huge deal. Now I'm going to take this fan brush again, and I'm going to grab some of my ivy green that I used back here, and I'm going to start putting some grass in here. Real careful not to cover up all of my black. Just like it's coming down off of this hill. And I can go back over it with a little bit of black too if I go overboard. Story of my life. And I'm just tapping. I'm just holding the brush like this to the canvas, and I'm just pushing down a little bit. Careful not to cover up all the black. And I'm going to carry it kind of up this hillside. Let it just kind of disappear into that black. Dry it, and then I'm not going to wash my brush. I'm just going to wipe it off. And I'm going to add a little bit of this chestnut and yellow. And just tap here and there. Don't want to cover it all up with the yellow. I'm rolling my brush around to get different angles. Ooh, big patch. Another big patch. Now as I get back here in this section, I'm going to tap a lot closer. It almost makes it look a little blurry. I'm going to grab a little bit of white. That was a lot of white. And I'll just do one or two little thingies here and there, just so that it's not all like green and yellow. Or something. I'm going to do the same thing over here, but I'm going to paint this real big tree first. All right, I may need a little more black for this. This is a real big tree. I've painted this before, so I already know the drill. Same fan brush, black paint, and I want the bottom part of this tree to kind of stop right here. So I'm going to start with this edge of the tree first, because I know about where I want it to go, so I don't really know where the middle needs to be yet. So I'm going to start with this edge, because I don't want it to go any further than this part right here. And I'm just going to make some horizontal lines straight up the canvas, and then I will extend some of them. This is going to hopefully help me keep this tree in check, and it won't get out of control like all of my other trees. Just straight up the canvas basically, and then I can pull some of the branches out. I think I just said that, but whatever. All right, now start to thicken it up. Well, if I could get enough paint on my brush. Horizontal lines right now, and that's all. By painting this edge first, I'm able to control where this tree is sitting right now. If I'd started with the middle, I probably would have went all over the place with it, because I know myself. I know how I paint, and that's how I paint. Decide how big I want it, or how wide I want it to go. I'm going to go one more little layer over here, down the side. Because it's going to basically take up this whole side of the canvas. And now I'll pick where the center is going to be. Start to fill this tree in. Now I'm going to start to bring some branches out and give this tree a little more of a natural shape. I'm not liking how that brush is making this look, so I think I'm going to switch to this little flat brush. It came in a set with this brush. And it's going to give me a little more control over how these branches look. And I'm going to kind of make them hanging this way. And then I'm going to do some little hangy things on it too. But that'll come in a minute. Big tree. And I'm just going to work on one side at a time. I might be able to switch back to this fan brush now. Trying to decide which one's going to work better. This is a big tree. All right, so even with me trying to control how fat this tree got, this is a common problem for me, it still got too big. So I'm going to fix it. I'm going to use the same colors that I used to paint the sky, and I'm going to paint over the top of this tree and see if I can fix it. So some more clean and dry mop brushes. Luckily, I still have some of that blue that I mixed up. I'm gonna need it for my road too, so hopefully I don't run out trying to do this. Now, to paint over existing paint, make sure that your canvas is cool to the touch. So if you used a hair dryer to dry your tree, make sure your canvas is cool. If you try to paint over a warm canvas, it's going to dry really quickly. So cool to the touch, and I am going to have to add a little bit of water as well. Paint over existing paint. Wish me luck. Some more white. Oh, I forgot my water. Get my brush wet. Let me show you about how much water. So I just dipped it down in the water here, and I'm gonna wring the water out by just squeezing it. Not a ton of water. I don't want it dripping. I'm just going to keep squeezing until it kind of stops. And wipe it off on my cloth a little bit. Go right over top of that. And grab some blue. That might be too much blue. Hopefully not. That's pretty blue, but that's okay because I'm going to blend. And another clean and dry brush, no water. Just kind of thicken up that white up here a little bit. And then another clean and dry mop brush, and I'm going to swirl. And I'm probably going to need another layer of this. A little bit more blue. I have to work quickly. I'm trying to blend this blue with the other blue. Also trying to cover up the tree. some white. Oh my gosh. More white. And more white. Blend. Make it like it was never even there. I'm definitely going to have to do another layer of this because it's not covering up the black tree. That's all right though. Grab another clean brush. All right, so I'm basically just going to paint this whole sky again. I'm going to dry this and give it another go. My brush is still wet with water. I am going to have to paint the top of that tree again, but that's all right. Some of the blue. Ooh, that is not wet enough. Get some water on this brush with the blue. Bring it out. A little more white. A little more blue. I'm just kind of mixing it on the canvas now at this point. Blend it. Back and forth with the different colors on the brushes. Just some blue, some white, until I get it just right. There we go. I'll have to repaint that, the green. Hopefully you didn't mess up the way I did. Hopefully your tree turned out perfect. And you don't have to do this part. If you did, then just skip it. Just fast forward. But I'm going to fix my tree. Really trying to get rid of that black part of the tree there. Because I can still see it through the canvas. I'm not super concerned about this area right here because the tree is going to be covering that up. So I'm only going to focus on the areas that matter. It kind of looks like a mess. But I am really trying not to have to repaint all of that background stuff again. Ah, I'm stuck. All right, I'm gonna try to add some of that top part of this tree back. I could get enough paint on my brush. Now I'll have to fix a little bit of my leaves as well. I make mistakes, guys. I mess up on paintings. They don't always turn out perfect in the first try. I know this part right here looks like a mess, but I'm not worried about it because my tree is actually going to be there. And back with my brush is dry. I think I have another one. I do. Back to my chestnut and yellow. And touch this back up again. That was looking a little weird right there, so I'm thinking I got a lot of brushes going here. All right, I don't like how this green is going at this angle, and then these trees are going at that angle too. So I'm gonna break that up. And I'm gonna put a big tree. I'm just gonna put a big tree right here. All the way up. My paint's drying on me. All the way up. I might regret this. I might not. We'll see. All right. I just want to break all of that up. That's just, it's so much right here, and it's all going the same direction, which is not a bad thing, but I don't like it. I don't like the way that it looks. It doesn't look balanced to me, or unbalanced. I don't want it to look too balanced. So let me dry the black and add some highlights. Ooh, my goodness. That was a lot of chestnut. I could have put a birch tree there or something. That would have been pretty. It's too late now, but back to my liner brush. Brown, black, and water. Well, the painting was going really well, quickly, and then I got a case of the fat tree syndrome, as usual. And I'll put some leaves on these branches. But not many. Just a few. Try to overlap some of these. All right. Rolling this brush around to get lots of different patterns. And bigger taps. Let's do some yellow and white. Really make this tree pop a little bit more. Whew. Too much white. And I guess I'll put a little bit of this down here just to kind of tie it all in. Like that a lot better. It was, at least it's kind of breaking all of that up. Let's give this tree a little more of a highlight so it stands out some more. Okay. Goodness gracious. Now let's try to fix this big tree. If I mess it up again, I'm just ending the tutorial. No, if I mess it up again, it's just how it's gonna be. Okay, so I know at least the middle of my tree is kind of right here. All right, that's better. At least it kind of looks like it's going up this way now, rather than just a giant ass tree. Sorry for the language. That's just kind of frustrating and annoying. If I catch that during editing, I will bleep it out. All right, let's spruce up the edges a little bit. All right, let's add the highlights. That's better. All right, ivy green. And I'm just gonna go right over top of these black branches. Basically follow the same pattern. I'll come in and break it up with a little bit of black as well. I'll leave it darker at the bottom. I don't care if it's dry right now. I'm going to go ahead and add some black again. Break up some of the solid green lines. Put some shadow back in there. I hope that showing my mistakes helps you guys. I hope that when you make mistakes, if you make mistakes the way that I do, like your tree just gets way out of hand, the way that mine always do, I hope that by me leaving this in the tutorial, that helps you. That shows you how to hopefully fix it, because I make mistakes constantly. I really don't know of a time that I've painted something and everything just went perfectly every time. I watch tutorials of people where they paint it and everything just falls together so perfectly. They don't make any mistakes. And I'm like, how? How do you do that? I don't know if they just edit everything out or if they're just like, no, I meant for it to look that way. I don't know what their secret is, but I wish I had it. All right, I'm going to dry this and add another highlight layer. What is your secret? I'm out of green. I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow. See how that looks. Cad yellow. Wipe off the excess paint. Well, that's good. Now, fewer highlights this time. Don't go overboard. Control it. If you can. If you can't, it's okay. We will fix this together. We can do hard things. All right, John, I need to be random with this because I'm already like following too many straight paths. I'm making too many straight lines. I'm overthinking it. Dark down here. That's a pretty tree. Let's just leave it alone. Leave it alone. I still got to paint this road. Whew, goodness. I'm also going to put a little yellow tree over here. See if I can find an angle brush again. You know what? I got so much yellow over there. I'm not going to do a tree over here. I'm just going to do the grass. You can do it if you want. Totally fine. I'm just going to do grass. Like this kind of grass. I've already got so much yellow on this painting over on the left side. And I think this yellow will tie it in. Tie both sides together. I should have worked on both sides of the road, the grass on both sides of the road. I should have worked on those at the same time, but I didn't. It would help make them look a little more uniform. But it's all right. I'm just adding a little bit of black now to the other side of the road to darken it up. Too much yellow. I want to make sure I've got underneath this tree nice and dark. Rinse it off. Oh, I meant to keep my water in frame. Hopefully you've still been able to see what I'm doing. A little more chestnut and yellow for some highlights. I'm leaving a little black edge right here, and I will darken that up some more, but try to leave a little edge there so that it looks like the grass is a little bit higher than the road. I'm done with all of this. I'm not going to do anything else to this. I'm going to work on this road and we're going to be done. Flat brush, Deco Clarity Set. It's kind of springy and it's short. I've got a little bit of this blue left. Not a whole lot. And I've got a really full jar of dirty brushes. I'm going to put some water on my brush and tap it on my cloth to get some of the excess water off. Grab some of that blue, some white. Blue and white. Excuse me, blue and white. And I sketched a little line on here, but I'm gonna go over it with a little bit of white paint so that I don't lose it, because I like the way it looks right now, because I'm gonna have to repaint this road. This was just a blocked in road. So I'm gonna sketch a little. Ooh, that went way off course. Kind of sketch this line back in here. All right, let's paint this road. A little bit of blue and white. This is the same color as my sky. And I'm just gonna wiggle my brush straight up and down. And we're going to have to put some chestnut and yellow in there too. Oh, that's too yellow. Just here and there. Maybe a little bit right here along the edge of the road on this side. There's a lot of yellow over here, so grab some more blue. I don't think I got any more blue left, guys. Very little. Get the brush wet, maybe that'll help. A little bit of white back here. Some green and black over here for this big tree. Just straight up and down wiggling. I'm desperately trying to get some of that blue back out. Or get some of that blue because it's dry. This doesn't have to look perfect either. Wiggle up and down. Swipe left to right. Just gonna make your road look, here's a big hair, like it's got some texture and some reflections. and like it's wet. That's what we're going for. A little more black over here. Maybe a bigger brush for this. I'm going to use this little mop brush just to cover more area faster. Break up this grass line too, so that it's not just a straight line. So I'm just kind of wiggling straight up and down, and then darken up along this little edge. Ooh, that was too much. I don't know, guys, that looks like a wet road to me. Now let's put in the line. I'm gonna start with white. I'm gonna dry this and I'm gonna paint it white first and then yellow. All right, let's finish it up. Try to see my sketch line here. Or my line, so I'll have something to follow. All right, let's go for it. I'm painting it white first so that my yellow will be brighter. And get my brush wet so that it spreads across my canvas easily. Little resistance. That way my edges stay nice and sharp. And the line's going to get skinnier the further it gets away. Oh, we got to put some leaves on the road too. If you want to. You don't have to. I want to. It'll only take a second. I hear my dog sighing, like she's getting annoyed with me or something. She makes the grumpiest noises. If she's laying on the bed with me or the couch or something, she'll be like, if I have to get her to move out of my way or something, she'll go and move. Like she's super annoyed. And then sometimes she'll go she's such a sweet puppy though. Okay. I'm gonna dry that and make it yellow. I'm gonna try this chestnut because it's like an orange yellow kind of color. That's not yellow enough. So let's try the colors that I used on the trees. Why not? With that white underneath it, I think that'll make it a good color. It'll be brighter with that white underneath it compared to up here because there's no white underneath it. Oh God, it's dripping. Too much water on my brush. On my brush. Yeah. Stop it. And just disappear. No passing through here. You'll hit somebody on this winding road. All right, let's put some leaves on the ground and call it a day. Angle brush. Back to my angle brush. This is the same brush that I used to paint most of the leaves up here. And same colors. And I'm just gonna make most of them just kind of flat, like they're laying on the road. Maybe a little pile up right here. Little tiny dots back here so they look smaller. Maybe another little pile up. It's easy to get carried away doing this too, so be careful. I don't want to paint this road again. And I'm sure you don't want to either. And a couple yellow ones. That's all I'm gonna do. Really, that's all I've got time for too. So, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments if you enjoyed today's video or if you learned something. Thanks for watching. If you liked today's video, give that like button a tap and please consider subscribing. You can also find me on Instagram and TikTok where I upload content almost daily. Thank you for watching.